Right, this is not a top speed video. This is not a range test. This is the stuff nobody puts in thumbnails. So I'm breaking down 12 accessories that made my Ultraviolette X47 ownership smoother, step by step, what it is, why it matters, and how I installed it. And I'm telling you right now, even if you don't buy all 12, at least some of these are non-negotiable. Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Tech Matrix. This is your host Bharat. Quick note before anyone comments, this is a sponsored video. All have been purchased by me, added and used for a while, and now I'm posting for all of you. Also, if you want the full backstory of delays, communication gaps, and the whole pre-delivery sales experience, watch the video number 1 on my channel after this. The link's on the top right. Okay, accessories now. Accessory number 1, it's the JDR 46-liter Aluminium Top Box. The price is about 10,500. You'll find it at a slightly cheaper price. For me, this is not even an accessory. This is a lifestyle fix because the X47 is a proper crossover, but in daily life, you still need helmet storage, laptop bag storage, right? This is a 46-liter aluminum top box, silver finish. First, place the top box plate on the bike's rear mounting area. Then identify the holes that align. For me, only 3 align properly. For the front 2 holes, I used longer bolts with washer and locking clip. I tightened the bolt evenly so the plate sits flat and doesn't twist. For the rear hole near the camera, the longer bolt was slightly touching the camera zone. So I switched to a shorter bolt and tightened it properly. Camera clearance is important. You don't want pressure or vibration stress there. Now, yes, only 3 bolts can feel scary. So I tested it properly. I held the plate and shook it. I pushed it from multiple angles. I checked stability after riding over bumps. It stayed solid. Now, the usability is where this shines. The lid opens smoothly. There's space inside that can fit a full-faced helmet like mine. Still has a lot of room for gloves and small things. It also comes with reflectors. I stick them for a better visibility. Pro tip, I used a primer before sticking the reflectors or the cushions. Primer makes the adhesive bond stronger a little and prevents peeling later in heat or rain. It also comes with a backrest cushion for the pillion. Again, primer helps and it makes pillion comfort much better for longer rides. The best part, quick release, unlock the bottom part mechanism, pull it out, the whole top box comes out. So if you want a clean look on a sporty ride day, you can remove it. And when you want it back, slot it in and lock it. So the final verdict, if you commute, tour or carry anything, this is a must. It makes the X47 twice more practical. Alright, accessory number 2 is the cable protection sleeves. It comes in 5mm and 13mm combination. The prices are between 350 to 250 rupees for each of the sizes. This is one of those upgrades that looks boring on paper until the day a cable rubs, cracks, or exposes wiring. Like EV bikes have more wiring than normal bikes, and the X47 has multiple visible cable runs, especially near the handlebar area, brake zones, tail section, and accessory wiring zones as well. So I bought these cable protection sleeves in 2 sizes, 5mm and 13mm. So here is the key. I didn't use this only for the dashcam wire and the OBC cable. I used this for almost every cable zone I could reach. Where I used 5mm sleeves, 5mm is a perfect for thin wiring like dashcam wire runs, thin exposed wiring near the handlebar, and small cable clusters where a thick sleeve won't fit. Where I used a 13mm sleeve. 13mm works for thicker bundles like sections of onboard charging cable, tail section, wiring bundles, and thicker cable, exposed segments where 5mm can't wrap. Now the big point, there are multiple other cables on the bike, right? Near brakes, handlebar clusters, and the tail wiring. I used 5mm and 13mm wherever I could find them and fitted them. And also I zip tied them so the protection stays locked in place. So first identify these cables and then wrap them. That's the easiest way to go about it. I also wrapped these sleeves on the OBC cable so that the OBC cable life also becomes a lot more. And so the final verdict is low cost, high impact. Do it early and forget about the cable anxiety forever. So accessory number 3 are the front fork seal covers. The price is about 450 rupees, but you can get it for different pricing as well. Fork seals are one of those parts people basically ignore until they leak, and once the fork seal leaks, you're basically paying money for the pain. Fork seals gets damaged by dust, mud, water, tiny stones, and road grime getting into it. So I installed this universal fork seal covers. So installation steps is pretty easy. Wrap this cover around the fork, align it so that the seal area is fully protected. Strap it tight with the Velcro. Use the included zip ties for extra security. Trim the extra zip tie ends. Then check the suspension movement, make sure it doesn't interfere. And so the final verdict, if you ride in Bangalore roads, rain, dust, or mixed terrain, do this early. Cheap protection for an expensive headache later. All right, so accessory number 4 is the leather grip covers. This costs about 500 to 600 rupees from different brands. So next is comfort plus feel, right? Stock grips are okay, but I prefer leather grips over the stock ones because it gives a thicker grip, firstly, better feel and better control, and it protects the stock grips from wearing out quickly. Also, it looks premium without being expensive. Installation steps are pretty simple as well. Clean the stock grip surfaces neatly. Apply these 3M tapes on one end and cover the grip covers. Wrap the leather cover evenly around the grip. Now there are laces around this. Lace it tightly and consistently from one end to the other. Tie the knot properly at the end. Then test the throttle and return the throttle to the primary position. Make sure it snaps back freely and doesn't stick to anything. And so final verdict is, if you like comfort, premium feel, and you want to take it for long rides, it is worth it. All right, accessory number 5 is DIY clear dashboard screen protector. You can even use matte. I wanted a dashboard screen protector, showroom didn't have one, so I made my own. Clear or matte, whichever you want, you can pick. Why it matters is the dash scratches are permanent and it's a pain, right? And the dash is something that you stare at every single day. I took a tracing paper, used small pieces of tape to hold it steady on the dash, then traced the exact dash outline carefully. So that tracing template became my source. Then I bought a clear screen protector film, placed the tracing template on top of that film, drew the outline using a marker, then used an arts and crafts blade to cut it slowly and precisely. I also rounded the edges slightly so the corners don't lift over time. Then for installation, clean the dash with a microfiber cloth, remove the backing slowly, apply one side to the other, finally wipe with a microfiber cloth. So this may not look factory fitted if your cutting is not perfect, but it protects your screen for cheap and you can always redo it later. All right, so you can also buy this Spartan shield. This is also pretty good. The only problem is you get only a single screen protector at $299. I also got one extra for free in one of the packages. I ordered 2 of them, but in the other, there was no free screen protector. So I think for most of you, it will be $299 for a single one. Whereas my DIY method for $299, you can make 2 of them. Although the perfection will not be there. But with this, the perfection is there. The screen is clear, like you see here on with the new protector. This is the new Spartan shield, and there is no blemishes or anything on the sides. And the final verdict, must have. Dash is too expensive to leave unprotected. Also, if you're taking delivery soon, watch my video number 2, my full PDI video. I recorded my checklist and process so you can copy it and avoid surprises later. The link's on the top right. So accessory number 6 is the Dashcam lens protection. I tried a few things, so let me explain. The phone lens protector, which comes for Motorola and others, costs about 180 rupees. This one was a little bit of a journey. First, why it exists, right? The Dashcam lens is exposed, and if it scratches, you're not polishing it out. So my first attempt was simple, a phone camera lens protector for about 180 rupees. On paper, it sounds perfect, clean, align, stick, and done. But here's the real issue. Most mobile lens protectors are flat. The dashcam lens is slightly curved, and so the protector kept lifting and coming out over time. So if you want to experiment, you can still try it. The size is okay, but don't be shocked if it doesn't hold long. Now the final solution, I used an Insta360 lens guard hack. The Insta360 lens guard is slightly bigger than the dashcam lens, but it can cover the whole area because the dashcam is also rounded and the Insta360 lens cover is a lot more rounded. So I used a PVC pipe around the dashcam's circular module to create a snug seating surface. Then I used a cap and stick this, and for added protection I used a glue gun with hot glue carefully around the pipe section, not on the actual lens area. Then I mounted the Insta360 lens guard onto that pipe structure. Now it became like a protective removable cover. Now if I want to clean it or remove it, I can just pull it off, and when I want it back, I can reinstall it easily. And footage check, I checked the camera view, no distortion, no major glare, clarity is fine. And the final verdict, dash cams are expensive, lens is exposed, protect it, even if you have to hack it. Alright, so accessory number 7 are the charging port caps. Ola cap prices about 160 rupees, and also 3D printed caps cost about 150 to 300. So this should honestly come from the factory, from Ultraviolette. Charging ports are magnets for dust and moisture, and one day dust and moisture becomes corrosion or connection issues. So I used two solutions. Option 1, Ola charging caps. I bought the standard Ola charging caps from Amazon for about 160 rupees. They were slightly longer for the X47 port. So I trimmed a little bit of the length, and then I used them on the standard port. Now it fits perfectly and does the job. But option 2 is more efficient and also much better in design. So custom printed 3D ones. One X47 owner makes custom printed 3D caps. I'll leave the links for connecting with him below. These are designed specifically for X47 ports, so fitment looks cleaner. I'll leave his contact as well. So pricing depends on the material, typically about 150 to 300 rupees. If you ride in rain, dust, or park outdoors, do this. You also get for standard ports and the OBC ports. So, I think the verdict is pretty simple. You have to get this because it is a must-have accessory. Accessory number 8 is custom seat covers plus some extra cushioning. It costs about 900 rupees. Now, this is a comfort upgrade, right? I got this done at Rao Seat Covers in Bangalore. I asked around and I somehow found Rao Seat Covers the best in Bangalore. Now, what I asked for is dual tone design. So I checked the black finish for the rider section and grey for the pillion section. And I added a 1/2 inch cushion inside. Now why I did this is because stock seats can be a little firm for short rides, but daily use and long rides needs a little bit of cushioning, better grip, and better comfort in heat. This upgrade improves feel without turning it into a sofa. And it matches the bike color properly, so it looks intentional, not random. Now verdict, small money, daily comfort upgrade. Accessory number 9 is the home EV charging safety box setup. Now the price depends on the box plus wiring and sockets, MCB lock, and whatever, right? So I'll leave all of those in the links in the description. It's one of the most important EV upgrades I've ever done. Most people charge like this, right? Extension wire, loose socket, charger on the floor, dust everywhere. And then we act shocked when there's something overheats or fails. So I built a proper home EV charging setup. I've been using this version for almost 5 years. Even before the X47, I was using the Ola S1 Pro. So here is what I did. I pulled a proper heavy gauge 16 amp line to my parking spot. Not thin wiring, but a proper continuous load wiring. Then I installed a steel charging safety box, mild steel cabinet with ventilation. So the charger and the plug point sits inside this cabinet, protected from dust, water splashes, and random accidents. Inside the box, I installed a 15 amp socket. I also kept a 10 amp socket inside the box for extra port. So no charger lying outside, no plug point exposed. And I also kept the keys access simple. Using the key, I kept a small keypad box mounted on top. So I open it only when I need it. Now, the most important hack for charging while locked, I cut out a neat slot at the bottom of the box, just enough for the charging wire to pass through. So when the bike is charging, the wire comes out cleanly, but the charger and the plug point remains inside, protected. That means the door can stay closed and locked even while the charging connections are protected from dust and water splashes. Also, the charging box costs about 2,000 to 4,000 rupees depending on what you need. I also installed a Wi-Fi socket in the charging box setup so that I don't need to go and plug off or switch off the the setup every time. So you can use any of the Wi-Fi sockets which have 16 amps power. And so the final verdict, this is also a very important accessory. You should get this if you have multiple EVs or even a single EV at home. Accessory number 10 is a chain care combo, brush plus a Michelin cleaner plus lube. The brush costs about 140 rupees and the Michelin cleaner combo costs about 479 to around 700 rupees. Here's my routine. First, spray the chain cleaner, wait for it to break down dirt and grease. Use the chain brush to scrub between the links, wipe down the chain and then apply chain lube lightly. Why Michelin? Works well, easy to use, protects properly, and my verdict is if you want long chain life, do this regularly. This is basic maintenance, not extra. Accessory number 11 is crash guard or Bullbar protection blocks. These cost about 500 bucks. This one is optional, but I installed it because I want to reduce scratches on the Bullbar. It's basically a polymer protection blocks that acts as a sacrificial surface. If the bike tips or scrapes, the block takes the hit instead of your Bullbar. Now in my case, the sizing wasn't perfect fit for my crash guard diameter. So I used a double-sided tape as a base wrap and then mounted the blocks. After that, it sat properly and felt stable. Verdict is, this is optional luxury protection, not mandatory, but nice if you hate scratches. Alright, so accessory number 12 is the Dashcam microSD card storage upgrade. So this costs about 1,650. The UV team said that you need to buy SanDisk Ultra only, which is class 10 or above. And I picked up the 128 GB storage. So this Dashcam storage matters. The bike comes with internal storage of only 32 GBs. But if you want more recording capacity, upgrade this microSD card. But listen carefully, I did not install this myself. You should get this installed via the hangar or the service center. They will install it properly into the Dashcam system. Now the most important rule, buy a microSD card that is class 10 and from recommended SanDisk cards only. I bought a HP card earlier. On paper, it looked better. It really didn't work with the Dashcam system, so don't waste money experimenting. Get the recommended SanDisk Class 10 card and get it installed through the service. Verdict, if you care about the Dashcam footage and longer retention, do this. Alright, so there are some bonus accessories as well. I have a helmet, Ignite iGen 7 Wolf Run helmet. It costs about 3,500, but I paid 2,350 on an offer. Quick bonus, not part of the bike, but part of your safety. Why I picked this? Full face protection for your face, anti-fog clear visor, useful for Bangalore rains and mornings. Pin lock support helps a lot with fog and humidity. Inner sun visor, fit and comfort. It's slightly heavier than some lightweight city helmet, but it feels solid and protective. Just ensure you get the right size, snug fit, no wobble. Color choice, matte white goes well with the desert wing sandstorm tone. And yes, this helmet fits in my 46-liter top box. So the verdict, if you're riding an X47 with a half-faced helmet, please don't. Get a proper certified full-face helmet, which will protect you from falls like I had. So guys, next videos are coming soon. Full ownership review. I had a fall with just 10 kilometer speed. What happened in that fall? How did this happen? And then there were multiple other accessories which failed during my use. So I will talk about that, real range charging experience and tips and tricks videos as well. So subscribe if you want real ownership content, not brochure content. So guys, that's it for this video. I'm Bharat. No hype, no sugarcoating, just buyers first, ownership reality.